Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get started here in just a minute to let everyone get settled, and then we will start our session. All right, well, it looks like we have a few guests jumping on, so thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are excited to be able to discuss our U Online Master of Arts in Live Entertainment Management program. This is a fantastic degree where we're going to cover everything you need to know about the program. But before we do that, I do want to start and just introduce myself. My name is Liz. I'm our Senior Enrollment Advisor for our U Online program. So excited to be here today. Should you apply or just inquire about the program, you'll be working with someone like myself just so that we can help you navigate through the application and help you join this fantastic group. I do want to cover a few housekeeping items before we get started. We understand that your time is very valuable. I know many of you are just now leaving work and jumping on this session, so we do want to be courteous to that and appreciate you joining us. This session is going to be about 45 minutes to an hour. If for any reason you need to leave, not a problem at all. You are going to get a recording of this session probably later this week or early next week, so be looking for that. It's a great opportunity to go back and catch up on anything you might have missed, or just go back and rewatch these fantastic group of panelists as they discuss the program. We are going to cover a lot of content today to make sure that you have a full picture of what the degree consists of, but we also want to make sure that this session is geared for you. There is a Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. Please utilize that. We would love to hear your specific questions, but we do want to make sure that those questions are focused on the content of the program, career options, just really gives me a little bit more geared towards the program itself. If you have any admissions related questions about financial aid or admissions criteria, what documents you may need to submit, definitely contact an enrollment advisor separately, just so that we can make sure that we're speaking with you on that individual level. You'll see our phone number as well as an option to utilize our chat feature, or of course you can email us as well. With that being said, I do want to turn it over to Rachel Hanusa, who is our director of the program, and she will introduce our panelists today.
All right. Thank you, Liz, and welcome everyone. So we have a couple faculty with us today. We have Ray Sanchez, who's the Associate Dean for Strategic Initiatives and Innovation, but also the chair of the Department of Music, Media, and Industry and a professor in the program. And we have Gary Wood, who's the director of the Live Entertainment Management program and a professor in it. And you'll be interacting with those two a lot throughout your time in the program. We also have two alums with us, Amelia James, who's a project coordinator with Given Entertainment, and Kelsey Hawkins, an artistic coordinator with the Colorado Symphony Orchestra. So thank you everyone for being here today. I'm gonna start by asking some questions directed to Ray and Gary. We'll start with Gary. Can you tell us a bit about your role within the University of Miami and how you interact with the online students in the program?
Well, as director of the Live Entertainment Management program, that encompasses a lot of things, but it has to do with not only the syllabus and curriculum of the courses in the degree program, but extended opportunities, added value things that we do that give the student a full range of opportunity through the University of Miami and the Frost School of Music. So it's kind of a catch-all in terms of the wide-ranging opportunities and careers that students have interest in.
All right, thank you. And Ray, same question for you. Tell us a little bit about your role at the school and how you interact with the online students. Hey, Ray, you might be on mute. I cannot hear you very well. Sorry.
How about now?
1 minute. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Yes. Okay.
Oh, and I just happen to be a producer as well, and I, picked the wrong microphone on Zoom. So, okay, back. I was just talking to the air here. So I wear a number of hats at the Frost School of Music, and in my role as Associate Dean, my very first initiative was launching Frost Online 12 years ago together with Rachel. And we have the honor of offering the first online master's degrees ever at the University of Miami. And it's been an amazing experience. And we launched with these this was actually among the first of the two programs that we launched with. So we've been here quite a while and have quite a bit of experience doing this. It's important to note that from the very beginning, we made a conscious decision that our programs would be no different than our on-campus programs, other than mode of delivery. So that's extremely important because it's not some other version of something else or some lightweight anything. It's whether you're on campus or online, we consider you exactly the same because our name and our brand is connected to it. We, as an institution, started music industry education in the 1960s. And while the live entertainment management program hasn't been around that long, it's only been around 14 years, I think, 14, 15 years, maybe. We have a long history of music industry education and a very significant brand with many, many people working in the industry. And wanted to make sure that when we took all of this online, that it would have the same rigor and integrity that we have in our on-campus programs. So that kind of frames the background of this, and how I interact with students, well, kind of informs that. I teach two courses in the program, which in live entertainment management are both electives, which is the copyright course and the music entrepreneurship course. But I use the exact same materials online and on campus. My on-campus students, I treat, they look at the very exact same videos and do the same readings that the online students do. The only difference is that we meet in a classroom to discuss versus meeting on Zoom. That's like quite literally the major difference. I feel that all of this is worked together to just kind of ensure that all of our students have the same opportunities and can benefit from the same types of relationships and ultimately have the professional life in music that they aspire to.
All right, thank you. I want to turn to our alumni now. Kelsey, we'll start with you. Why did you choose the University of Miami for your program, and what made it stand out from other programs you may have been checking out?
Sure, thank you, Rachel. I would say that the biggest factor was, I was kind of at a crossroads with my career, and I knew I wanted to go back to school. And I am very passionate about music, but mostly from a live standpoint. And this was the only program in the country that I could find titled Live Entertainment Management. And so that was really niche to me and very much resonated. Another factor was actually meeting with Professor Wood when I was considering applying. I got a chance to actually visit the university really quick. I am kind of a hybrid alumni. I started out on campus my first year, and then I transitioned to online learning my last year of the program because I got a job in Denver. So anyways, yes, I had a chance to meet with Professor Wood, and he introduced me to other faculty members. And it just really stood out how personable and warm and also accomplished the faculty are here, and that I would be working with them and learning from them. So I would say those were the two biggest factors that went into choosing the program.
Great, thank you. Amelia, I'm going to ask you the same question. Why did you choose this program, and what made it stand out from others you may have been considering?
Well, I had kind of a different background than a lot of the people coming to the program in that I was solely on the track to be a performer. That was what my undergrad degree was in. I had just been hired by Disney to be a performer 2 weeks before the shutdown happened. And so I really found myself in a place where I didn't know what the future of live entertainment was going to look like. I didn't know when I would be able to have a job as a performer or if that was ever going to be an option again. And so I really wanted to use my time wisely. So I decided to go back to school, and I was looking at a lot of different programs, some arts administration programs, and this is the only one that really I felt gave me a full picture of everything that I was interested in. It had classes to do with nonprofits, for-profits, music industry, and when it came down to it, when I was trying to really say, okay, what is the program for me? The faculty was really what set it apart from everything else. When I was looking at everyone's bios online, seeing the networking opportunities that they could give me, the people that they were connected to, and to see that if they'd had that successful of a career and they were coming back to teach and invest in students, that they must be people that really cared about the next generation. And those were the kind of people that I wanted to surround myself with.
Great, thank you. Gary, I'm going to turn it back to you. Speaking of the curriculum of the program, how is it designed and how might it be different from other degree programs out there that are similar?
Well, first, let me say that I didn't say earlier that, I teach several of the courses in the program, but as Professor Sanchez alluded to, there are other faculty that you get a chance to engage with too. So we try to make sure that we get different expertise speaking with you. And I also want to say how proud we are, Kelsey and Amelia, your two superstars from the program. And it's really a thrill to have you with us. The live entertainment industry is very broad, very diverse, and people want to work in different parts of the industry. Some of the students really have a strong idea of what part of that large umbrella of live entertainment they want to focus in. And so the syllabi can handle that. But at the same time, some of the students come to it and they begin to realize some of the breadth of and the unique opportunities that this industry provides. And so the syllabus is intended to be broad enough that it can talk about all the different niches and areas of the industry to catch their attention and see if that's where they want to go. And I am always willing to work with students to try to find opportunities unique to them, because again, there's such a diverse, broad of a range of opportunities that I don't want it to be too vanilla, right? So we really try to focus in on the needs of the individual student while acquainting them with the broad reach of the industry. I would also say too that what sets us apart a little bit is that we don't talk about a great deal of history. We don't talk about sort of the practical nature of arts administration over the last 30, 40 years. I mean, people can study it if they want, and we'll talk a little bit about best practices, but what we're really focused in on is what's happening now in the various different parts of the industry, so that we're current, that we're front of edge, that people, when they go out to get work, can get right into work because they know what's happening now, and they're not lost because all they studied was what happened decades ago. So it's really forward-thinking program. We look at innovation, we look at things doing things in new ways, especially with the incorporation of technology and the way the industry has evolved. So we really try to think of ourselves, and I think the syllabi and the work we do really is front edge, trying to lead the way in terms of where the industry could go and how you as students can go out there and make a difference right away from day one.
Thank you. And Ray, did you have anything to comment on that? And I know you're also kind of answering the difference, because we have another degree, music industry versus live entertainment. What was?
Yeah, and I just answered a question on the chat. And that's very important. I'll go back and stress the fact that our programs are very aligned to on campus as well. Otherwise, Kelsey wouldn't have been able to do what she did. Basically start one way and end the other. And that was deliberate from the very, very beginning. But yeah, I'll also reiterate what Gary's been talking about. This is the focus here in this program is the basically $50 billion worldwide industry of live music and live music, actually. We're not even counting everything else that makes up live entertainment, which is even bigger, right? Because at the end of the day, live entertainment is enormous, but live music alone is a $50 billion a year industry. And that's pandemics notwithstanding, by the way. It was basically that before the pandemic, and it's very close to that now. So it's coming back with a vengeance, I like to say. Live entertainment is everywhere, live music specifically. One of the key features of this program, as well as our music industry program, is that there are built-in electives that give students choices, because not everyone fits in one exact mold. And in fact, even on this call, our alums are doing very different things. And we know that's the nature of this business. So having a program where every course is prescribed kind of doesn't make sense. You have to have some flexibility built in. And this is what we've set out to do. This is what we do on campus, and we do online as well. So it's as close as we can come to personalizing. You can't personalize a degree program for everyone, but you can at least build in enough options so that people can truly build themselves. Our motto at Frost is build yourself. This is across the board, everything from undergraduate all the way up. And we're really trying to live by that motto in this program.
Great, thank you. So Amelia and Kelsey, Ray just commented on your career paths and how they're a little bit different. I want to start with Amelia. Can you tell us about your career path since graduating and how the degree may have helped you get a leg up on your job prospects or your job search?
Yeah, well, I really have this whole degree program to owe to my career, because it really took me a 180 to decide I don't want to go back to performing. I want to go into the industry, because I've realized I love this side of things and I think that I can really contribute. And so when I came to graduation, I was, interviewing and trying to find a job, and I talked to Ray and Gary and everybody. It's weird saying your professor's first name now that you're not a student, by the way. But I was talking to everybody saying, I'm looking for a job, not having a lot of luck yet. Like, what advice do you have? And everybody told me to keep networking and keep getting to know people. And that would be how I got in the industry. And everybody was so right. Literally a week after graduation, a week to the day, I had someone reach out to me, said they had a friend that was hiring and they thought I would be a great fit. And I went in to interview the next day and got the job that night. So I really valued that advice. It held true for me, but I decided that I really wanted to move into Nashville and into the music industry about halfway through the program, which is another great thing about being online, is I can move from Florida to Nashville in the middle of the program, no problem, still doing my coursework along the way. But I was hired at Given Entertainment. We are a small company on Music Row. We do music publishing and artist management. And I started out just being hired as an executive assistant, but they were really looking for somebody that knew a little bit about a lot. So that's one of the great things that they've already kind of highlighted about the program. You learn about everything in the industry. So that was something that was really attractive to them. And then since it is a small company, there's a lot of room to grow. And they said, we really would love to have you kind of grow into the company and move to whatever area that you find yourself interested in. So I was soon promoted from just executive assistant to project coordinator, and already handling performances and different shows and taking on things and publishing. And that's where I really found my lane, and that I loved the music publishing side. And that was actually the last elective that I took in my program. So it's kind of a perfect way to lead into my career. And so I just started showing my interest in that and telling my boss and the people in the company, hey, I'm really interested in this. And I started kind of making documents as if I was doing a higher up job than I actually was, and started coming up with ideas for if I were to move up, these are the kinds of things that I would want to do, coming up with song pitch ideas. And it just so happened that there is a vacant position now. And so they're kind of training me up to kind of move into that. So this program's been everything to me. And thank you to both of my professors that are on here. I haven't really got to talk to you since all of that happened. But yeah, this program's been everything. So thank you all.
Awesome. That's really exciting to hear. Congratulations. And Kelsey, how about you? Can you tell us a little bit about your career path since graduation? And I know you kind of got this while you were in the program, so tell us a little bit about your story.
Yes. So like Amelia says, it really was a connection-based opportunity. I worked very closely with Professor Wood while at Frost that first year. And I was kind of trying to figure out which direction I wanted to go towards. I knew it needed to be artist relations, but I was thinking, okay, is it within the live event sphere? Or is this actual like proper artist management more in a music business standpoint? And I was taking music business electives additionally. And so it was great because I was getting to explore both areas and really landed on, okay, it is artist relations. I am thinking it's live events, not sure what I'm going to do after graduation. And so that summer in between the first two, or between my first year and the last year of the program, Professor Wood gave me a call, and there was another Frost faculty member in the music department for percussion. And he was friends with my current boss at the symphony, saw the opening for artistic coordinator, reached out to Gary and said, hey, isn't this like exactly what your program does? And because, we developed such a strong rapport, and he really listened to where I wanted to focus my efforts and where I wanted to land professionally, he reached out immediately. I applied for the job, sent my resume. I have no symphonic background, by the way. And I thought, there's no way they're going to, even interview me because of that. But I really think the Frost name carries a lot of weight. And, and I can just say that too, just having been working in the symphonic world, everybody recognizes Frost. And I think even if you don't, and you're in live entertainment, people go, oh, University of Miami, that's not NYU, that's not USC. I think it really stands out and people get very curious. But anyway, so yeah, I interviewed and very quickly had to move cross country from Miami to Denver. And I was able to just immerse myself in that first year with this position, which it's, definitely about a 50-hour work week here because it's part admin, part, production essentially. And I, all the while, was able to continue on that path. I took music copyright law with Professor Sanchez. I took arts leadership with Professor Wood and finished out on music publishing. And it was great. I was really worried, right? Because I intentionally chose to do an on-campus program because I like being in a classroom setting and connecting with people that way, with whether it's information or relationships. And so I was pleasantly surprised how similar the online format was to what I was getting on campus, with the discussions and the videos. Like Professor Sanchez said, I was taking Dean Elton's recorded label operations course when I was on campus. And so we were seeing those kinds of lecture videos. And so anyways, it was great. I didn't feel like I missed out on the last year that I could have been on campus, and I didn't have to pass up an amazing opportunity for my career. And yes, I got to do that my last year of being in school, graduated with a job already and a lot of security. So.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. All right, great. I want to ask you how, well, since everyone's talking about their careers and different paths they've done, what have you seen other graduates embark upon when they've completed this program?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I think it's really interesting hearing. I mean, I knew Kelsey's path. Amelia, I didn't know exactly where your path, but it's really interesting, and I'm at all not surprised because you're working. This is the modern music industry. It's a management company that's also dealing in publishing that would have never happened 20, 30 years ago. You would have one or the other, but not both. So it's incredibly important to kind of know the big picture. So, like I said, we at the music school have been involved in music industry education from the beginning. We're kind of the fountainhead of this. So as a result, there's probably not a corner of the music industry where there's not a Frost alum. They're everywhere. I've been very excited about what's been happening with live entertainment management over the, since we've started this, whatever it was, 14, 13 years ago. Don't remember exactly. But because it was honestly a focus that had been lacking in our school. Yet, even without that focus, we've had tons of people in live entertainment. One of the top concert promoters in South Florida is an alum of our old music business program, even before we made the changes that we made. So we've had them everywhere. Since we've launched this program, we've seen some pretty diverse placements out there. So even here, we have someone that is on the classical nonprofit side and someone who is on more the pop mainstream for-profit side. That was deliberate focus from the beginning. I don't know how many programs there are out there like this. There's a lot of quote unquote arts administration programs that are mostly focused on the nonprofit side of the business, but and the nonprofits are important. You can't neglect either. That's the whole thing. Yes, I just got an email today from an alum of this program who is doing quite well in live music in South Carolina right now. Have another one, actually a current student about to graduate, already in a job in the New York area, emailing me about an event that we're going to be having in New York in a couple of weeks, the Frost School, and wanting to go there. So we're seeing quite a bit of success with our alums in finding positions now. It's been tough the last 2 years because the pandemic had just an incredible negative impact on live everything. I mean, Amelia, imagine if you had instead gone to that Disney job and then they shut down, but it's coming back. People still like to go out and be entertained. So I don't know that there's just any one area that most people flock to. I think it's kind of all over the place. But anywhere that music and live music and industry intersect, that's where you will find our students.
Well, thank you. Gary, I want to jump to a little different direction. And how does the program help students get both practical knowledge and master deep academic principles that empower them to become leaders in the entertainment industry?
It's a great question. One of the things that's really interesting about this degree program is students who come into it don't necessarily come with some sort of quote unquote perfect bachelor's degree or background, because a lot of people want to get into this industry. And so what they bring, because they may be coming from business or from communications or for some other field, they bring an incredible amount of curiosity about what does it really take to survive and thrive in this industry. So it's not always just about practical issues, which of course we need to cover because they may not have much background in them. But it is also around the idea of how to work in teams, how to communicate, how to make decisions, how to see the event as it's happening and be able to manage a live event because it's not something that's happening in the future, but it's happening now. So yes, making sure that our students are poised to be able to jump into whatever field they're going to go into and feel comfortable about how to communicate, how to work in a team, how to make decisions is an essential part of this. And by the way, I want to jump into many stories to tell, but we just also had one of our cherished alums become the company manager for the Miami City Ballet, which is a huge news because being a company manager for an internationally famous ballet company is quite remarkable. And Jessica is poised for that. And she came through asking the very questions that Rachel, you asked, is what is it going to take for me to be a leader so that I can get out there and get a really strong position from the start. And she did that as Kelsey's doing and Amelia's doing. It's really about understanding how they fit in, what's the larger picture, what's the vision of what we're trying to do here, and how can I help? So I'm hoping that helps answer your question.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Kelsey, back to you. What was your highlight from your experience in the online program? What is one thing that stands out to you?
Let's see. I think it was probably the discussion sessions that we would have. Everyone in the class would have interesting points to bring up, and it was just very conversational with faculty. Another one I would add is probably, I think in the arts leadership course, it was really fascinating because a lot of that one was about, reading, but also taking in what was going on in your environment and making those connections to the material in real time. Whereas, some of the other courses are more, you're taking in this information and it's all new and you can learn how to apply it in a major project, which I really enjoyed doing that because it built this awesome portfolio for me that I still, for freelance opportunities put forward. But I think the projects were really compelling and helped me be intentional about my career while it was in real time instead of just kind of going on autopilot, giving me a chance to synthesize the information. So I would say that was a big highlight.
Great, thank you. And Amelia, how about you? What was the highlight of your experience in the online program?
Not to sound too much like a nerd, but I really loved all of our really big assignments and papers and projects that we had because it really gave me the chance to kind of put myself in the position of, okay, if I was doing this job, how would I do it to get practice and get feedback in a safe space where I know I wasn't going to get fired, if I did something wrong. And I actually used some of the things that I did in my courses to help me find a job and make connections. One Professor Wood's classes, where we had to kind of come up with some sort of arts presenting project. I created an event for CMT, Country Music Television, for their Next Women of Country program, this whole Equal Play Initiative event. And then I got a meeting with the head of CMT and said, hey, I worked on this as a hypothetical project, but I would love to share it with you. And she was like, wow, you did all of this just on your own? Like, this is incredible. Like, I want to actually look into doing some of this and creating something. So that started a really great relationship with, the head of CMT. And one of my papers was published that I did for Professor Elton's class. It was called The Music Industry Taylor's Version. And now I know Taylor Swift's head of promotion and got to talk to him about that and share with him, hey, I did this paper, like, look at, even in an academic world, she's making a difference and being discussed. And so it was just really cool to be able to take the assignments and really just run with them and find my lane in my career. And now they're still helping me in my career.
Great, thank you. And thank you to everyone who answered questions today. It was really great to hear from all of you. And I just want to add that in addition to our degree in live entertainment, we also have 4 graduate level certificates. And those give you a little bit a taste of the program. Like if you're not quite ready for the degree, you could do the certificate, which is 3 courses. And you could even transfer that into the degree program if you'd like. But we have a certificate in art leadership, arts management, arts presenting fundamentals, and there's one called tour and live entertainment administration. So feel free to check those out as well. And I'm going to turn it back to Liz. So thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you so much, Rachel. And again, just to echo Rachel's, thanks for everyone joining. I know it's taking a lot out of your schedules. You're all very, very busy. So do appreciate you just taking the time to share more about your experiences. And Kelsey and Amelia, you both have brought so much to the table for our students to be able to consider and just have incredible stories and testaments to be able to share from these esteemed faculty. So just appreciate you all. Students, if you are interested in joining this fantastic group, we would love for you to apply. It is free, so you do not have to worry about any type of application fee. And we are currently accepting applications for the spring beginning January 9th. So be sure to get your application in, but those spots are going to be limited. We definitely know that, with our programs, intentionality is key. So those spots are offered on a first come, first serve basis. So the earlier you can get your application in, the better. So our early admissions deadline is Monday, November 7th, which I think is just less than 2 weeks away. So be sure to get everything submitted as soon as you can. In addition, we also want to give you our $300 deposit waiver fee. So should you start an application with us or already have an application started, be sure to connect with your enrollment advisor, let them know that you attended, and we'll definitely get that locked in for you should you be admitted into the program and want to accept your offer. Again, make sure you get those applications in, and should you have any specific questions about what items we need, financial aid, or tuition waiver opportunities, be sure to connect with an enrollment advisor like myself, and we would love to assist you in whatever way we can through that application. And then, of course, at the bottom of your screen, you'll see that link to apply. But again, I do want to just say a final thank you to everyone joining us, both panelists and those who are joining us both live and watching later. I hope you all have a great night, and we hope to see you in our program soon.